Okay, we're up to Bez Hashem Chaf Beis Amid Aleph. Chaf Beis Amid Aleph. We're finishing the parak today and starting the parak. Avu b'noi sheroyas hachaydesh. You have a father and a son. Now, father and a son are apostlate, the stamazai, because they're relatives. Chaf Beis Amid Aleph. They're krayvim. We know relatives are apostle edis. So if you have a father and a son that see the chaydesh, yelchu, they should come and testify. And loishem, it's star from zem zeh. Not because they can combine the two, because after all, they're both about they're puzzle. Elishim, if so mehem, if when they go ahead and they go ahead and they grill him to make sure, like the drisha, to see if it's a kosher aid, it's star fashenim acher. So in other words, even though usually you would think two Adim come up themselves to testify, ostensibly they're going to be one group of Adim, even if they're not one group of Adim, because they're puzzle. Because they're krayvim, nonetheless come, because you never know who's going to be there. You never know who's going to be there. What do you mean, Michal Sham? So again, so like the Tanakama, like the Tanakama, in fact, that even though they're puzzle edis together, come, because you never know who's going to be there. There'll be another aid that you can combine the two with. Rav Shimon says, Avu b'noi v'chol krayvim ksherim leidus hachaydesh. Edis HaChaydsh is not like Edis for money. It's not like Edis for Dinei Nefashos. If for Edis HaChaydsh to go ahead and tell us the fact, whether you saw the Levana or not, right? That they would be believed for. That would be believed for. It's a Shelos and Shuvas Rabbi Kiva Eiga. I think it's the Kuf Ayin Aleph or Reish Ayin Aleph. It speaks about if there's a din of Edim Zayim by Edis HaChaydsh. They usually speak about you need Edis Sheyach Azim. In order to be an aid, fellas, you have to have the capacity to people can go ahead and say by Sislei Kasha Zaman. So if you go ahead and say two people eat chasa, right? So you can get Malchus, right? A person that not Vera that has a chorus. Anyway, you say you'll do to them what they wanted to do. What would the punishment be if they said what? Yeah, what would they be? So therefore, there's this big shaila. It's a contingent on the first taistus in Makis. As a matter of fact, the Shtickle Torah said by my son Simcha's bris 40. How many years ago? It was 1970. He's born in 78, so 44 years ago. 43 years ago.
So you're
Okay.
43.
What?
So you're 43.
Thank you. But I am not. Right. Rav Shimon Avu b'noi v'chol ha'krayvim ksherim leidus hachaydesh. Amar Rav Yaisi, Ma'isa b'Tuvia Roife, Tuvia the doctor, sheroyas hachaydesh b'Yerushalayim, hu u'b'noi v'avdoi mishochrer. Now, an Evid Meshuchra, an Evid Knagas Meshuchra as a din of an Isha, right? The Kiblu Akahana Moisoi Vespinoi, they receive them, Upasalas Avdoi. And that seems to be the Shita of Rabbi Shimon, right? That you'll accept the father and his son's testimony. However, once they came from the Bezdin, Kiblu Moisoi Vesavdoi, Upasalas Espinoi. They did not accept the Krayvim, but they accepted the father and the Eved.
I thought they do like a regular Jew. When he's an Eved, he's mitzvah finisher, no?
Yeah, maybe he didn't have it. It could be he didn't have his tefillah yet. Could be he didn't have his tefillah yet to finish his gerus. That could be why they accepted it. Could be, I don't know. In the first, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure.
What was the Kinhana? What did they come
What?
up with?
No, just the Ma'aser Shaya Kachaya.
What does that mean the Kinhana Kabbalah?
What?
No,
Kiblu means they accepted them as Davis. The Kahanim were the people who were in charge in they same Kiddush HaChodesh. So they must have been like the Bezdin. They were the Bezdin.
When they came to Bezdin.
The Kiblu Kahanim also as no apostle was Avdod. Yes, I'm not learning Pshat over here.
They're gatekeepers.
They were gatekeepers. I didn't shtelsach on this. Okay, for Kiblu to let them come in.
Yeah,
They let them come. What does Scott School say? They let them come in. But the Kahana, what is the?
Accept them in accordance with the view of Rav Shimon.
Good. Again, so what do you mean? They were makabel them as Adim, and then Bezdin said no. What exactly happened? I'm not. I didn't shtelsach. I didn't. When I looked at it, I didn't focus on this at all. But I hear your point. It's a very good point. But even first, it seems like two parts over here. First the makabel and the Bezdin, right? So I just seem to. I just blew by it.
He says he doesn't answer. He said to the identity of his Kohen, see the Sisei Chacham.
Okay.
On the outer world.
Okay, fine. So okay, that's Hashem.
According to, they base it on pointer of Shimon. Except
Initially, but then they said not like that. But no, but again, what is who are the Kahana? What are they? Who are they? Who are they? Okay. Anyway, Rav Levi says Rav Levi, my time with the Reb Shimon that these are kosher laden. Why would father and son be kosher laden? Hashem said to Moshe, "Bil Arain be'eretz Mitzrayim leimar chodesh zelchem." So now, who's HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaking to? He's speaking to the Bnei Shalom, right? He's speaking to two brothers. Eidezu to hek sheira b'chem. This Eideh HaKadosh zelchem. This Eideh should be kosher for you. So l'chayra, Reb Shimon has a source for relatives being kosher. For Rabbanon, who say no, Eidezu to hek misura l'chem. This Eideh should be musa to you, like your best, you're kosher to Dayanim. You, not that you could testify, but it's given over to what? L'chashuvi hador, Rashi says, ani moise sheikablu eidus v'yakdishu achodesh loy lahach shekroivim bo. It's come to say that achodesh zelachem, that the people who are the dayanim should be choshev like Moshe and Aaron, but not to say Moshe and Aaron together would be kosher le'eidus. So that's the machlokes between the Tanakama and Reb Shimon. Rabbi Yossi ma'aseh b'tovei roifei. So again, if the Kahanim were makabel like Reb Shimon and the Besdim wasn't. Rav Chana bar Rabbi hilchos like Reb Shimon. The halacha is like Reb Shimon. And what? They're kosher. Rav Chana bar Rava. Rabbi Yossi u'maisa. We had Amar hilchos Reb Shimon. You have Rabbi Yossi and the Maisa, and you say halacha is like Reb Shimon. Now we have like a rule Klal Yashas. What Klal Yashas is Rabbi Yosef is Nemukai Imoy. The laws are with Rabbi Yosef. We said Elizabeth Yaakov is Kav Naki. He doesn't speak often. When he speaks Naki, it's clean. In other words, there's certain Klal Yashas. Rabbi Yosef, the halacha is usually like Rabbi Yosef. So first of all, Rabbi Yosef said you don't accept them. When Sveitens, when the Mishnah, when the Gemara brings a Maisa, it's not I'm telling you a Maisa. It's telling you the halacha that, in fact, how in Mitzias, in action, it happened. And the action said they did not accept the father and the son. So how can you go ahead and say the halacha is like in conjunction, Rav Shimon? Two reasons not. One, Rav Yossi Nemuku Yimo, and second, you're bringing a Maisa. Yeah, I'm in Hilchos Rav Shimon. So I'm related. So Rav Chana bar Rabbi said, "V'hazimnin sagin." Amis kamei derav hilchos Rav Shimon. Other times I said the halacha is like Rav Shimon. And Rav didn't say anything. So Pashtus, if Rav didn't say anything, it must be the halacha is in conjunction Rav Shimon. So they told Rav Chana bar Rava, Hechi Tanyas, how did you learn in front of Rav the halacha is like Rav Shimon? Amalei Ipcha. I learned the opposite. That Rav Shimon said a father and a son are not believed. In other words, and then the Maisa is what is the Maisa. So Amalei, so they told Rav Chana bar Rava, because the Chayri said the right thing. However, the Gemara concludes with a very ambiguous statement. Amatavi Berei de Martavi, and Mamatavi, the son of the Maritavi, named after his father. Amar Ukva, Amar Shmuel Hilchos Rav Shimon. But if you look at the gears on the side, it says Ein Halach Rav Shimon. So it's that's so clear over here. It's a halach like Shimon that they are believe the halach is not like of Shimon. So it's a little ambiguous. And the Rishonim, there's different days how to learn over here. Okay, next Mishnah. Very famous Mishnah. Absolutely. No, you need to. Ru Besnevin Shleisha, right?
Yeah.
So what does it say? So, no, continue the Mishnah. Ru Besnevin Shleisha, right? You have two guys, two sit with the one guy, and the two guys testify. Right? You always need to. It says the Nadis. It's Apishnai made him. It says the Nadis. Now, this is a very famous Mishnah. This Mishnah appears in Sanhedrin. We had an Erevin. Elohein Apsulim. These are the ones who puzzle the Adis. They puzzle even for Adis Achodesh. Hamasachik Bekuvya, someone who plays with dice. Masachik Bekuvya is a dice player. He's a gambler. Umalve Beribis, someone who lends Beribis. Umafrichi Yoinim, someone who races pigeons. Again, type of gambling. The Soichre Shvias, he goes ahead and he does business with Shemitah fruit. Taisa says it's Bisman Hazeh when Shemitah is the Rabbanan. But Avodim and Avodim also would not be believed. Zeh Klal Kol Eideshein Ishim Ksheirullah. any isha that any edition that isha is not kosher, af hein ein kasher in law, they also would not be kosher. They also would not be kosher. Let's see Rashi here, guys. Elin psulim bekuvya says Rashi chaticha shaletzem. These are pieces of bone. Shemisachkin be'arvin ve'omer rabbanon asmachta lekanya. The rabbanon say asmachta is not koina. Varihin gazlonim midrabbanon. The gazlonim midrabbanon. Maraisa einu kari gazlon ela choytif miyad ish kidachsiv vayigzel es hachonis miyad mitzri. Look at this big Torah over here, guys. In gambling, it's gambling. How do you now the Gemara, if I remember correctly, in Sanhedrin says that gambling is only people who are not oisik b'yishuv shalaylam. In other words, it's his full-time profession. He goes on Jeopardy and wins a lot of money, right? So that guy, a full-time profession, that gambler, that guy is postulated. But a guy who does it, oisik b'yishuv shalaylam is not being oisik in the bettering of society. That's the person who's postulated. Well, again, there's also why is the psul would be because he's a gazlan d'Rabbanan. Now, why isn't he gazlan d'Oraisa? Because he doesn't. Rashi tells us a gazlan is someone physically has to go ahead and take something from somebody, and we pass an asmachta loikanya. What's an asmachta? Asmachta is a person when he puts the money on the table. He doesn't think he's going to lose. No person thinks they're going to lose. Right? No person thinks they're going to lose. Right? And so really he doesn't want to give it to you. So you're taking it something he really doesn't want to give to you. So that's that smachta. There is Torah, if I remember correctly, from the Vilna Gaon. If I once heard a share on gambling, that it could be it's only if you take from another yid, but from a goy it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a goy from a problem. Let's say gazela. You have something in your hands that doesn't belong to you. So that's then of an aveda. You have to return the aveda of a regular person. You don't have to return the aveda of a guy. You don't have to return the aveda of a guy. So gambling with a guy can sign that there is a makar. I'm not giving anyone a head to, but I'm saying it's not so posh. When we say that sachik bekovia gambling is postulated, right? I've known some gamblers in my life. What?
Day trade.
And inviter, I don't hear day trader. What do you say? Day traders gambling. Day traders is what is that? He's a fool. I mean, he lives on the high side. I wouldn't say he's a gambler. But the stock market. And I'll ask you a question. The stock market. Why would you say day trader? Day trades the stock market just in one day. But is the stock market gambling? Then everyone will be puzzled. You have your pension in the stock market? Okay, and please remain seated. Okay, so now, no, I'm saying right. I'm money in the stock market. Most if you have
100% gambling.
right, yeah, I'm saying.
Except now by this point.
No, but you don't expect to lose. You know then you're in the stock market. You know you're going to lose. I mean, or statistically over time, right? It's shown that it's a better risk than but I wouldn't say it's gambling. I'll tell you why also, because gambling is you're fighting against another guy. You're going against the casino. You're going against another person. Stock market, you're not going against anybody, right? You're not going against anybody. It's all different music. Okay, again, there's a Vilna Gaon over here. I'm going to look up the Makar. There's a Makar, very famous Beer Grow over here. I just don't remember where it is. In Choshen Mishpat somewhere that narrows it down to 1,000. So, anyway, but it says about something taken from a guy and taken from hand to hand. Okay, so Malva Baribis is Lav Gazlan Deraisahi, the Mifslei, Mishum Al Tashazayit Chametz. In other words, guys, there's a psul of a Gazlan that he steals. Ribis, you're giving it over to the other person. So the other person is not considered stealing. That's why it's not considered deraisa. And again, Taisus points out over here that shvius is shvius bismanazeh, which is the rabbanon, and avodim apostolate is called the from isha. A woman's apostolate is the apostolate too. Gemara says ha isha ksherula, right? But anything a woman's believed in, afhin ksherula. So they'd also be kasha. Ravashi is also meres gaslan the devrayim ksherim leidus isha. Let's say you see a professional gambler, and he's the only one who was there and says, you know what? I saw your husband was killed. She would be able to remarry on that smach. That's Eidus Isha. That's a huge thing. You're not doing an Eidus Ish. But since the Chachamim, Mishum Iguna Yikilu Rabbanon, since regarding Iguna, they were Mako, the famous Gemara from Gittin, right? So we permit even people normally who are not permitted will believe an Isha will be believed. So who are then they'll be believed as well. Who are then they'll believe as well. Rashi gives the reason why these people are puzzled. Let's go. Let's finish that Rashi, guys. See the last Rashi. Shoche shvius. Oisen schayr beperish shvius. The Rachmana Omar laachli. You're supposed to eat it below the schayra. Well, if you nechshu kol elu, all the people mentioned b'sachei b'kuvya mavi b'ribis shvius lavor al das machmas momin. Since they're all willing to go against the Torah because of the love of money, choshtem liyas meidim sheker al yedei momin v'shoichet. That since they love money so much, they're easily bribable, and therefore, why people would go ahead and their testimony could be bought. So since they could be bought, I would disagree with you. I would firmly disagree with you. I'd say if I would give you $1 million to go ahead and say, hey, this is a person that he owes another person money, I'd say you wouldn't do it.
Many back in the day, we said everybody had a try.
Okay, most of the people.
What?
Are bought.
Mandy,
It's just a question of how much.
Mandy, people might do something illegal, but to say aid this against somebody else, we're not chayish, we're not choshed the person. In other words, these people are puzzled because we're choshed them. They have in other words, people basically have chazakas, guys. People have a chazakas of ne'emanis. You break your chazak of ne'emanis if you're choshed. You say everyone has a price. Okay, good, no, again. But in the norm, people people have a cheskes kashrus. And I would also ascertain that most people that I know could not be that are Erl Chiyidin. If you're going to say go to court and be guilty in contempt of court, swear that somebody, I would assume that they wouldn't do it. I would assume they don't do it. Again, so I respectfully disagree with you. Do people love money? Yeah, people do love money. Can people be bought for certain things? Yes. Aidis to say another guy? I'm not sure. Again, we're arguing in Mitzias, but again, okay. Says the Gemara. The Mishnah actually. Misha Rasa Chaydish. You see the Levana. Misha Rasa Chaydish. Veni Yochel Halich. He's not able to go. Now again, you're very what? Did I skip? You slept through it. Yeah. Misha Rasa Chaydish. Veni Yochel Lahalich. The Malichim I say ala Chamor. Even though it's Shabbos, again we said you mechal Shabbos with Kiddush Chaydish, but pasuk Eilu Moed Kodesh Shetik Roy Som b'Moyadam. There's a mixture of Kriya b'Moyadam in their time, guys, right? B'Moyadam, even though it's a mitzvah Moyadam, they'll go ahead. You put them on a chamor and ride them. I feel a b'mita, even has to be carried a b'mita. Listen to him, lehem, and if there are arvim, there are ambushes that are going to be there, loichim. Biyada and makles, they can take weapons to go ahead and protect themselves. Now, who would these people be? We're going to see the Baisanim and the Kutim. The Baisanim and the Kutim, people who did not believe in Torah Shebechsav. Torah Shebal Peh. People who didn't be Torah Shebal Peh, right? They're not believe. That's going to be what? The Sadducees, right? Sadducees, right? The sect. Okay, even if it's a far away, it can't be that far. Shabbos, a journey of a day and a night, you'll be Machal Shabbos. As we said, now again, why would the Vaisusim and the Prushim, these people, and we're going to see these people were in the next Mishnah, they always believed that Shavuos has to come out on a Sunday. They said, in other words, the Pesach has to be on Shabbos. So it's Lamachas Shabbos, right? That's when you bring the Omer. So it's in their behooves them to make sure that the Rosh Chodesh falls out on a Shabbos, I guess on a Friday to make it come out on Shabbos, right? Your Daled Tesvav, Tesvav would be Tesvav, So it would be like they wanted Rosh Chodesh that come out. So therefore, they would do things to keep their shita, okay, because they wanted the omer to be bought on Sunday. They always wanted the omer to be bought on Sunday. Okay, as we begin the second parak, it's a long parak, nice kshmaka parak, kshmaka masechta, right? Not as easy as you thought, but the last few blot of the Moiled was a little. I feel bad about that. I didn't have time to do it justice. I had ksavim on it, but I didn't do it well. I feel bad. Okay, that's Hashem. I don't know him, but Hashem. If you don't recognize him, Rashi says, "And ain best in makir and esaid Im Neman v'kashahu. In other words, Bezdin doesn't. They don't recognize the aid. He's a new person in town. You need to be. They don't recognize him, right? Mishalchen imoy acher lehaidai. Even on Shabbos, guys. In other words, Yankel knows Aedis, but Bezdin doesn't know Yankel. But there's an aid that knows Yankel. That aid can Chal Shabbos to go ahead and substantiate the ne'emanis of Yankel. The aid that doesn't know Kiddush HaChodesh. You'd go ahead and go ahead and Chal Shabbos ad kedei kach. And if they don't know, the best doesn't. Mishalchen imay acher. You could send another person. Either the Gemara is going to discuss why can one person be believed? Why can you need two people to be believed? Okay. So again, but the chiddush, huge chiddush over here, even though they themselves are not, but they're facilitating the Eidus HaChodesh because they're going to be substantiate the aid. In that case, then you go along. Initially, right? When they used to go ahead, they would receive a person from every place. Initially, they would accept anybody. Why would a person have why would we believe the person wouldn't be telling the truth? We accepted anybody. He had a cheskes kashrus, right, as we spoke out. But once the besusim and they went ahead and they were makalkal, then we need a substantiation as to the ne'emanis of the person to go ahead and be believed.
The safest explaining to be consideration.
Yeah, yes. So my acher. Now it's mashma over here. And guys, look at the lashon. So Yankel knows this, and you're going to send one person to substantiate Yankel. My acher, chad. The chad is one person. Acher is a lashon of a yachid. Chad. Fred more v'chad mi mehimnin is one person believed. Vatanya, ma'isa sheba hu ve'edav imay lehayed alav. He came. Who came? The edav imay lehayed alav. So you see that you need two people to go ahead and establish the identity of Yankel, not one person. So Papa, my acher means zug acher. When it says acher ataka does not mean one person, it means a group. It means a group to substantiate Yankel. Hachanami mistaber that it means a group. The loitema hachi, I mean two. In einay makir noisai, my oisai. If they don't recognize him, Yankel. Ilay moisai, Yankel chad. The chad mi mehimna is Yankel alone believed. Mishpat kasif bey, right? What do we say about Tikku Chochu Yisrael? Mishpat ke Yaakov, guys. Ki Chochu Yisrael, Mishpat ke Yaakov. Mishpat is like no different than any other court case of Dinei Mamanis, where you need two. So obviously, when the Mishnah said Makir and Isai, the Isai did not mean one; it meant two. So who had in the Acher and the Mishnah did not mean one; it meant two. That's what Papa's teretz. I mean, Makir and Isai, my Isai, Ilay my Isai chad, v'chad min b'shmil kasebei. Al my Isai, Isai azug. Achnami my Acher zug Acher. Okay, so take a look. Go back to the Mishnah, guys. Turn back one page. In Eina Makir and Isai, if they don't recognize them, we're not attached as one. They don't like them. Mashlichim imay acher, we send two people to go ahead and establish their identity. Okay, because again, obviously, I say now.
That's a good point. Think about Chayde Shefer. He said, because of Tigel Chayde Shefer, because we need the Chayde Shefer to be in the right time.
Yeah. Now,
How do you know these two Edom are going for a long trip? How are they supposed to know people all over the place?
who
These two Edom.
from the hometown? They don't have no people. No,
But then they're going to the next.
let's say again, Kiddush HaChodesh. How far? You're talking a day and a night. It can't be too long from the time they sort of Kiddush to Levana, right?
But after that, they kept on going to tell people. I mean, this is just.
You're mixing up shluchim. You're mixing up the shluchim and the edem. Two different things.
Okay.
Edem is substantiate. Shluchim is to go out and perform, right? Those shluchim are the Desmond would send those people out. Okay, good. Okay, now so Rapap's teretz. How could you say one? You said the Oisai means two, right? You said the Oisai means two. Why do you say that the Oisai means two? Vatanya, Maisa beRebbi Noroi, Shaholach Etzel Ha'ed, Leheir Olav b'Shabbos b'Usha. Reb Noroi, he went to be made on a person, one person. He, Reb Noroi, went to be made. So you don't. The Acher is not an Acher. So I don't think v'chad mi mehimnan. Rashi says is one is believed Eidus HaChodesh, right? So this second means the opposite, guys. It means, do you need two people to substantiate Yankel? You don't. Because you see that Roy is coming to substantiate Yankel. Einachinami, guys. For Kiddush HaChodesh, you do need two. But to substantiate, to identify the guy as a Neman, that L'chayre, you only need one. Because you see that Reb Neroy went alone to go ahead and substantiate an identity. Ma'aser Reb Neroy, Shohalach Eitzel Ha'eid, L'Heid Alav, B'Shabbos Musha. Sami Reb Neroy Sada Achrinavi. Reb Neroy Sada Achrinavi, but he had another aid with him. He wasn't alone. Because of the Chashivas of Neroy, but he considered the other guy. But in Achinami, you need two people to substantiate aid. This one, therefore, the Isai and the Acher means two. Rav Ashi Amar, no, Reb Neroy Sada Achrinavi Busha. He had another one in Usha. But also Reb Neroy, let's do Rufi Badei. In other words, Reb Neroy had another aid there that knew this aid, and he was going along to go ahead and substantiate him. Right? And so, therefore, you need two. So either way, you need two. Yihachi, my lememra. So you're telling me that Rab Neroy, or it's Chashivis, or there was another aid there. What's the chiddush over here? Bishleim Rab Neroy alone is believed that's a chiddush. But if you're telling me he had another aid with him, or he had another person in starve, so the two aid him, what's the chiddush over here? It says, I'm not sure if this is going. It doesn't work out so according to the first teretz, but according to the second one. Maybe that aid is not in his house. Meaning, according to the second Pshat of Rashi, what's he doing? He's going to Usha, or he's going along the way, and he has another aid that he knows this guy. Good. Is this on Shabbos? Oh, Shabbos. He's going to Shabbos. He's not testifying. He's not testifying on the Kiddush HaChodesh. He's testifying on what? On the guy. It's a suffix whether the other aid is going to be there. So you might think Suffolk Hill Shabbos, you won't do. That's the Chiddush of Neroy. You would even do the Suffolk, even if you don't know the guy's there, you're going to go ahead and let Rab Neroy be Machal Shabbos, and the smach that'll find the other person to identify Yankel. Okay, that's the Chiddush.
I mean, if you for sure didn't know that another person was
Then he went to gone. That's the teretz. Rav Ashi's teretz is he knew other person. But again, it's a suffix whether the other person will be there or not. Kamash Malon, a suffix that the aid will be there. You'll go ahead and be Machal Shabbos. You see how important that Kiddush HaChodesh is, right? You see how important Kiddush HaChodesh is. Kiyasa Ula Amar Kachuli Archa b'Marava. Ula showed from Eretz Yisrael. He told them people in Bavel. Then the West and Eretz Yisrael they are Mekadosh Levana. Amrav Kahana. Loimi by Ula the Gavra Rabbahu Dimhimna. Not again. This is now to testify after it's been Mekudesh Avrami. This is your case. Where after the case before was speaking, where you're going to be Mekadosh Levana. Aid is to be Mekadosh. Here is after the fact, and you're going to inform. Right? Is one person believed to inform? Guys, it's one person believed to inform that the Levana what Shtei Reish Chodesh was. So you Ula informed them. So I'm kind of Chiddush Loimi boy Ula the Gavra Rabbahu Dimhimna Elafilu Inishta Alma Nami Mehimna. Even a regular Joe would be believed. My timer called Milsa Davidi Legluye Loy Mishakri Bo Inchi. Something that is that you can go ahead and ascertain that anyone would know a person's not going to lie about. This is a very fun thing about Adis. Guys, Adis is an unbelievable thing. Think about the koyach of Adin. Guys, it's just a basic premise. Two people say it's daytime now. It's daytime. We give al pishnayim Adim Yakum Dava. The Torah gives Adim tremendous power. Two people can kill somebody. Two people can make a woman asa to a husband forever. It's unbelievable what two people can do. But with that power comes certain barometers, certain things to keep them in place, such as hazama. In other words, you're going to lie. Guess what? You're putting your life on the line too, because you're going to say this thing happened here and here. We can say Manu Yisem. Two people come along and say, "Yeah, how could you have testified you with us in this day?" You know, and in other words, then you're going to be dead. So in other words, it certainly puts a damper on your power. So now, if it's something a milsa davidi legluye, if it's something that people will know about, so obviously no person is going to lie. We're not empowering you that much because it's something that is going to be obvious to all. And therefore, says Rav Kahana, you don't need a great person like Ula to believe for this, since anyway, they'll find out eventually when Rosh Chodesh was, right? They'll not look at the sky, but they'll know, they'll hear exactly when Rosh Chodesh was, therefore they're believed. Therefore, a single person is believed. Tanya Nami Hachi, Echad b'Seifa Olam v'Amar Kitchu Besnes Es HaChodesh Nemon. I don't know what that. One person shows up. He is believed. Until the Baisusim and the Prushim, they went ahead and not the Prushim, the Baisusim, they went ahead and they messed things up. Tanrabanan. Ma Kilkalu, who's Makalkalu? Is Kilkalu Baisusim. We said that the Baisusim, they were a sect from not Shema Italian, with the Talmidim. Not in English Yisrael. No, who were they Talmidim of?
The claim.
No.
It's from the Chashmonaim.
No, they were Talmidim of certain, and they went off. They went off, and as a result of going off, they kept going to the Church of Chasad.
Jason
The second mission.
Again, they started in I'm trying to remember who the Tana, the Rebbe was, but I'm not. Again, as I'm prone to do at this age, it's leaving me at the moment. They went ahead and they wanted to go ahead and trick the Chachamim, because again they wanted the Levana to be. They wanted the Shavuos to always be on a Sunday. Sachu Shnei Bnei Adam b'Daled Mei Zuz. Right? They rented out Shnei Bnei Adam for 400 zuz. Echad Zuz Mishalanu, ve'Echad Mishalahem. One of us was a Prushim. One of us was a Baisusi. Shalahem Heyere Dusa B'Yatza. He said his Edus. He lied. He saw the Levana and he left. Shalanu Amuloi. Our guy told him, Ketzad Royas, Emar, Ketzad Royas is Levana. How did you see the Levana? Ketzad Royas is Levana. Samlahem, Oila Hayisa b'Mailadumin. I was going up to Mailadumin, right? For Isi, and I saw, Shu Roivitz Ben Beisloim. I saw that the moon was lying between two rocks. Roishoy Doimel Egel, its head looked like a calf. Osnav Doimel Gedi, it had ears like a goat, kind of daimus letzvi, and it had horns like a deer. It was navai munechos like being akaisav, and its tail was lying between its thighs. V'tzatzti boy v'nerati. I looked at it, v'nerati v'nefalti l'chur, and I fell backwards. V'einata maminamli. If you don't believe me, harimasayim zuz tzrurinli b'sadini. I got 200 zuz in my pocket. So in other words, he was telling him a Baba Maisa that they should go ahead and chop him that while he's lying. And he goes, if you believe this, then guess what? I got 200. No, basically, okay. A man who cannot be bought, Mendel HaKoyin. So Amrullah, me his kach. So who hired you? Amrullah Shemati, why'd you do this for? So Shemati shebikshu beisusim, lahates es chachamim. I saw the beisusim, they wanted to go ahead and fool the Chachamim. Amarti, I said, Elich ani, I will go. V'adi alahem, I'll go and I'll inform the Chachamim. Shema yavo b'nei adam she'enu muganim. Maybe a person who is not could be on the take, right? He'll go ahead and take the money. But you do es Chachamim. So Amrullah, they told him, listen, Matayim zus n'sulun l'chavim matana. This is not Chasidim. We're spilling with lit fox. We want to know what the halach is. The money you can keep. The money you can keep. How can you keep the money? So hefka bezdin hefka. Bezdin has the koyach to be mafka your money and go ahead and give it to who they want. So hefka bezdin hefka, they were mafka the money, they gave it to you. And those people who rented you out, they're going to be spread on the amid, they're going to get malchus. But at that time is skinu shleim mekablam elamin amakirim. From that time on, they made a takana that you're only mekabel from makirim, that people who are makir. And you see that this permeated throughout, because many other months they wouldn't even care about. It's only Nisan, it's only the month where, yeah, that's
So
only.
so the same people kept coming back, obviously, the same maiden kept coming back month to month. I mean.
Why would you say that?
Because Bezin had they had to be vetted, so I'm sure.
So it
they
wasn't the
had
same
full-
Eidim? No,
It doesn't have to be, but I'm sure they were the same.
again, it could be a previous guy, it could be people they knew, it could be Eidim could come and testify.
Yeah.
They could have a henpeck that said from another Bezin, they're reliable people. There's other. Right.
Antigonos Soho, I think that was the Tana.
I think, okay. Barishoina hoya masiin masuais. So once they were Makadosh Levana, how did they let us know? Now this, guys, we're going to get to Yom Tov Sheni. Initially, if not for Beis Susim, we'd have it made. Initially, Barishoina hoya masiin masuais. They would go ahead and they would wave these banners. The Rashi brings these were sticks that are on them. They had pine and different oils, and it was a big torch. And they'd go ahead, they'd swing them. Masima Suez, Mishakilku Hakutim, and the Kutim Makalkel, because they started doing it as well. Hiskino Shei Shluchim Yaitza, they made Shluchim go out. No longer they used the torches, they made Shluchim go out. Ketzad Hoya Masima Suez, Mevian Klunsoy Shaleres, they would bring large sticks of cedar wood, Aruchim long, the Konim, the Eitzim, and they would take reeds, and they would take wood, shemen, and oil, or Atze shemen, wood of oil, V'nu'uroi shel pishtan, and linen, flax of linen. The kairich b'meshicha, they would go ahead and tie it up in a pile. Ba'oil l'rei shahar, they go up, u'matzes behem asar, they light it up. U'moluch hamevi u'mayli d'mayri, they go directionally, they would bring it up and down, back and forth. Achuroyas chaveru, Ashoyas came b'rei shahar sheni, and they would go ahead till the chaver on the second mountain saw this. B'chein b'rei shahar shlishi, the third mountain, u'me'ayin hoya masim asuyas, and what exactly did they do? They had a mishcha, which is harazesim, the satava legar punya, lechavron, lebes balson, ozaz misham elamelech mevi malam married. Ashiroy kol agoyla the fun of kimaduras eish till everything appeared in front of him. Right, the Gemara will explain the lashon of a hesed gadol. But again, initially there was no shluchim. They would get the message out using these means, and people would know exactly when Rosh Chodesh was. They would not know exactly when Yom Tov was. And we'll stop over here.
All right.
Shkach to you.